Power, and that's one of the shows in which I just cannot miss. I have to watch Power. It's something that I look forward to watching every Sunday outside of football, and football hasn't officially started yet, so Power is keeping me in it until football season starts in about 2 weeks. But again, thank you for watching the Power 3 podcast. Unfortunately, again tonight is just myself. My other two co-hosts are unfortunately they are unavailable this evening. So I'm gonna go ahead and host this podcast without them tonight in regards to the show Power. This is one of the things in which we will be talking about throughout the season, throughout our podcast as we go along. Let me take my glasses off because of the glare and whatnot. But with that being said, Power is one of our favorite shows for all three of us. We like the show. We don't miss it. Some of us watch it earlier. Out of the three of us, I watch mine late at night. The actual show when it comes on stars at 9 o'clock p.m. Central Time. So uh, it's one, like I said, it's our favorite. It's one of our favorite shows, and I enjoy watching the show. I can't miss it, no matter what. Also, before I forget, let me go ahead and give you a heads up. Tomorrow I will be doing a podcast, and it will just be of me again, probably, because my co-hosts again they'll be at work and stuff like that. But tomorrow night I'll be doing a podcast on the VMAs. For those that didn't get a chance to see the VMAs, the MTV Video Music Awards, I'm going to do a podcast on that tomorrow. So be sure to check back on my podcast channel to hear about what I think or what I thought the VMAs were about last night. Or late earlier this evening. And it was pretty good, but I'll leave that for tomorrow. So, but for tonight, we're gonna talk about Power. Now, for those Power fans that are out there, I know a lot of people that watch Power and stuff like that. They have a great following, a huge audience that's watching Power. The thing about it tonight, though, for tonight's episode on the 28th of August, um, it wasn't like the past few shows on Power. Tonight's episode was more, it wasn't as much action packed as the past two previous Power episodes, but it was still a good episode. It really was. It went more in depth about a lot of things. So with that being said, let's go ahead and get it started. Let's go ahead and get cracking about the Power episode. So first off, as Power comes on, we see Jamie Ghost. We see him in the bed and he's laying there and stuff like that, and it looks like he turns over. When they show him, of course they show him face first, or they show his body in the camera or whatever. Then he turns over and and it shows him looking at Angela. Well, we all know from the previous episode that he broke up with Angela because of certain circumstances. But in this episode, he turns over and Angela's there. Well, the writers are, and if you watch the previous episode, you already know that he's either dreaming or something is going on where Angela's really not there. But they still went with that, and of course he's telling Angela he's sorry, he loved her, but it's something he had to do. And then it goes on as the scene goes on. Of course, it shows him he's waking up and he's in the bed by himself. Now, with that being said, Ghost, I feel like he's losing himself in some ways. Ghost, and I've thought this for a couple of past episodes about Ghost, because of the fact that Ghost was doing things in a few other episodes that I felt like wasn't Ghost like. In other words, Ghost wouldn't get caught up with this new guy, what's his name, Milan, where he let Milan get inside of his, infiltrate his inside um, workspace like he has. And I feel like they steady showing Ghost's weaknesses, and that's not good for Ghost, and that's not good for Tasha or anybody else. But I just feel like Ghost is kind of losing the edge right now. That's just my take on it. I feel like Ghost is losing the edge. But feel free, anybody that's watching this podcast, please feel free to chime in and let me know what you think and how you feel about all the things in which I'm saying right now. But yeah, that's just my thought process in regards to Ghost right now. Um, it goes on. He's still trying to figure out ways to get Milan back because Milan basically done blackmailed him to make him get back into a game of drugs that he really don't want to get back into. We all know that. Well, we all know that. Watch Power know James St. Patrick wants to get rid of Ghost. He wants to be done with Ghost forever. However, Tasha doesn't want him to get rid of Ghost, but he wants to get rid of Ghost. He just want to focus on the club thing. Well, because of some circumstances, and for those that are watching, y'all know what I'm talking about. He has gotten back in. He has been forced to get back into the drug game because of a man by the name of Milan, who's gotten too close to James St. Patrick, or Ghost, should I say, and now he's been put in predicament where he has to get back into partnership with Tommy so that they both can try their best to take down Milan. Now, for all of y'all know, Tommy never wanted to get out of the dope game, the drug game. He's always been wanting to stay in the drug game. He thought Ghost was stupid for trying to get away from the drug game, but that's just where Ghost was, and that's just where Tommy was. They was on two different levels, and that's why they kind of fell apart in at the end of season two. But as you see in the middle, I guess you would call it the middle um, of season three, they have to get back together and work together. But at the same time, Ghost has to get rid of Angela because this guy Milan is a dangerous, dangerous man. He even states in this episode that Milan is even more dangerous than Kanan. They have this dude Milan being like a cannibal type person. Like really, you have to be crazy if you're eating people. And they're even mentioning it in the actual show that he's, I believe Tommy's even asked him, "Yo, is it true? Do you really eat people?" Like they're in one of Milan's limos, which was nice. And he asked Tommy, you know how Tommy just come off the women's table to wild stuff sometimes. But he really asked Milan, like, "Do you really eat people?" And it was like, it's crazy. Like this dude is really, really crazy. They haven't shown Milan do nothing crazy yet, but it gives you, the writers have put it in there because of Milan's history and the type of person he is, that he is beyond crazy, beyond a shadow of a doubt. So we just gonna have to see where that goes. But either way, the power of the show started out with the first. It was called, this episode was called "Don't Go," and that's exactly what um, Angela said to Ghost once he was in the beginning, when it seemed like he was leaving, about to leave and get out of the bed, when he was dreaming that Angela was in the bed with him. She was like, "Don't go," and that's when he woke up and saw that he was in the bed by himself. Um, and the show goes on. It starts off a little slow this weekend. I was, unlike other shows, well, all the shows kind of start off slow. Sometimes you have a show here and there that starts off a little fast, but this one started off a little slow and stuff like that. And um, I think one of the big things that grabbed my attention was the fact that there was a point where Tasha was talking to Tyreek, and then for those don't know, Tyreek, of course, Tyreek is being rebellious right now. He's got a lot going on, being that his mother and Ghost are not together anymore. They live in a life separate. Tyreek is taking it real hard, and he's being real rebellious right now. Well, Tasha was telling, it was a scene where Tasha was, getting Tyreek ready for his, he got suspended for school for bringing a gun to school, so he has to do some therapy and stuff like that. Have to go to some meetings and whatnot. Well, anyway, she was getting him ready for that, and she was talking to him and whatnot, and she said something to him, and he came out his mouth wrong. I forget what it was he said, but he came out his mouth way wrong, and it got Tasha hot. But the thing about it that really like grabbed my attention was the fact that she got hot, she got pissed at him, and she went to go slap him, and he caught her hand. Now, all the viewers out there that's watching my podcast, watching the Power 3, I want y'all to be honest with me. Keep it 100, you know what I'm saying? Keep it completely 100. I'm going to take my glasses off. Just keep it completely 100 with me. Y'all know, as a black kid, growing up, no matter what age you are, it look like Tariq's probably about maybe 15, looks like. Oh, Look like Tariq is about 15 or whatever. Y'all know that I said, oh, because my screen went black. Y'all know um, that if a black mother, tried to lay hands on you and you caught her hand, y'all know the type of repercussion that was coming after that. Really? And all she did was said, boy, get your butt in the room. Come on now. Y'all know that's not real. Let's keep it 100 power. Y'all know let's keep it 100. I mean, I know they probably couldn't add that in it because that's probably more of a spot for Cookie on Empire, because that sounds like something Cookie probably would do if one of her kids did that. But we'll talk about that on the Empire episodes and stuff like that. And just so you know, Empire comes back September 15th. Be ready. We're gonna be doing reviews of Empire as well. But that's neither here nor there. Let's stay on Power. But yeah, that just threw me off. Come on, I just felt like, man, come on, a real black mother trying to lay hands on their child and their child catch their hand. It's not gonna be pretty. It's not gonna be pretty in any way, form, or fashion. It's not. But yeah, they allowed that to happen on the series. But that was crazy. I thought what was another thing was crazy, and I was kind of laughing out loud. Agent what's his name? Agent Sachs. They're doing them they're doing a investigation on Lobos's death and how who the people, well, Ghost and Tommy killing Ghost, killing Lobos. They're trying to figure out now how did anyone even find out where Lobos was, because he was supposed to be transported secretly and only a handful of people was supposed to know, but we all know how that went about. But anyway, they're doing an investigation because they feel like there's an inside, well, they know it has to be an inside connection on how Lobos was killed, because only a handful of people knew Lobos was whereabouts and his transport from one place to another. Well, during this investigation, of course, they're investigating everybody that's on this task force that's trying to take down Ghost, Lobos, and Tommy and all these people. Well, um, it was one part where they was interviewing the agent Sachs, and they had some dirt on Sachs. Even the two interview Secret Service people were looking at the paperwork and just laughing. And he was Agent Sachs was he looked puzzled to see that they even knew about it. So hopefully here in the near future we're gonna find out what this is that they got on Sachs. This dirt they got on Sachs, because obviously it's some serious dirt. So looking forward to seeing what that is. I couldn't do nothing but laugh, because Sachs is he tries to seem like the up and up. He's always trying to be the hands on, have a hand up on Angela and things of that nature. And now it seems like now he has some dirt out there as well. So they're gonna try and hopefully they, hopefully they go ahead and bring it to the forefront, so we know exactly what Agent Sachs has going on. Um, but another thing, like I said, we Ghost and another part of the episode was, like I said, Ghost has to come back into the drug game. Tommy never left the drug game. Ghost basically in season two, at the end of season two, he left the drug game, and Tommy became in charge of the drug game. He started being the head honcho in the drug game. Well, with that being said, um, this dude Milan has forced Ghost to get back into the drug game, and not only just to get back in the drug game, but he has to get back into the drug game with Tommy, because of the fact they're better as a pair than by themselves, and they knew that. Now, initially, they got back into the game because, well, I said initially they got back into the drug game because of Milan, but that's not necessarily true. Initially, they got back into the drug game because of Lobos, because Lobos, of course, was trying to kill Tommy and Ghost. So they went ahead and took Lobos out. Tommy and Ghost took Lobos out in the last week's episode. But that's when they found out about this guy Milan, who was supposedly, well, I won't even say supposedly, he is Ghost's personal bodyguard, security. But unfortunately, he was being Ghost's bodyguard and security to be malicious to find out everything in which Ghost was doing in his drug operation, and he's using it against Ghost and Tommy. That's why Ghost and Tommy has to get back. Well, Tommy was already in the drug game, but that's why Ghost has to get back into the drug game with Tommy so they could take Milan out. So Milan is not a joke. Milan is not a joke. I will say that this dude is straight crazy. Um, I don't know what to say about this guy. We just got to see. He's definitely more dangerous than Lobos. Definitely more dangerous. And then there was to moving on. So being that Ghost and Tommy are back in the drug game, you know, in the season end of season two, Ghost um brought in Andre, who was a young man who was helping Kanan trying to take down Ghost and Tommy. Well, um, Ghost brought on Andre into his club business to try and get him on the straight and narrow and try to get him to be a clean guy because he had a he had a he has a uh, Dre has a I guess she probably about 3 years old. He has about a 3 year old baby girl, and with that she's I don't know what's going on with my computer right now. Please forgive me if you're watching right now and it's freezing or whatever, but I'm trying to fix it as we speak. Okay, there you go. There it is. Let me close this over here real quick. I don't know why it won't close. I'm trying to get this on point. And there it goes again. Wow, I was almost done too. Come on. Don't. It's officially gone now. Golly. Come on, man. All right, everyone. I'm sorry. I don't know what was going on with my computer. For whatever reason, I lost um the I don't know, it froze up on me, so I completely apologize for that. But you're back with the Power 3 podcast, and it's still your boy, your host, Sean Bishop Davis. And let me go ahead and finish what I was talking about in regards to power. So,